welcome to another episode of my POA podcast, Black Hand and Beyond. I'm Kent Rourke, your host. It's another Tuesday night. So far this year, we haven't missed an episode in the calendar year of 2024. I believe this is our 9th episode, something like that this year. It is episode number 75. Tonight's topic is the Sooner POAC, which is in Oklahoma, the great state of Oklahoma here where we're at tonight, and also Breyer models. So it's not going to be an in-depth thing about Breyer models. I know there's millions of people that know more about the beautiful Breyer model horses than I do. I do know they started in Chicago, Illinois in 1950, kind of as a toy, and then they took off from there, and they still make other things besides just horses, but it's pretty much horses, and now they make really they have for a long time specialty horses and even horses after certain names that we'll be showing, like a sneak peek is right there. Who is that? Y'all know who that is? The name of the show is Black Hand and Beyond. There's the Breyer model Black Hand that was introduced in 2004. So we do have a Breyer cam tonight, front and back. There's the back and there's the front. So I'm pretty proud of that. So that's cool. Let's get back to here. I got to see if anybody's commenting tonight. I don't have the comments up yet. So hello. Hi, Monica. And then somebody else said, Charlie Phillips here. Hello, Kent. Hello, Charlie. Hello, all. Terry said. Tracy says hello. Jan is watching. That's probably Jan Rogers from Iowa. I just got a message on Instant Messenger or Facebook Messenger. I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was from Gay English, and she said the people from her company, John Deere Australia, is actually there today, so she's not going to be able to watch the show. I said, well, please watch the show later. So she turns in all the time and tunes in. So does John Davis and Ann from Australia. So we usually have at least 3 people. If you remember back, we had a show about the Australian ponies, the Palouse. So the spotted ponies over there that did import quite a few POAs. So go back and watch that episode if you missed it. It's a pretty good one. We had live guests and everything. So you do see some of the Breyers behind me back there, and we'll be talking about those. And I do have some other Breyers that I'm going to be putting up on display tonight on our Breyer cam. I need what do I got for a sound there? Let's see. On our Breyer cam. So, all right. So our first topic tonight is the Sooner POAC, which is in Oklahoma. My beautiful wife Monica and I went to the Manor just off of 74 on Coffee Creek. I used to say Copperhead, but it's actually Coffee Creek Road. It's a kind of a wedding venue there. It looks like it's an old horse place. I believe they have some POA connections because they did donate it to the club to use. It's a very beautiful facility, and the Sooner Club put on a really nice awards banquet, and well, not really a banquet, but just desserts and kind of low key, but they gave away some really nice awards to some deserving kids, and we're going to show some pictures of them. Jan Jones Nolan, who of course grew up in POAs, is the president of the club, and she was there, and they had a meeting right beforehand. I didn't attend the meeting, of course, but my wife and I did join the Sooner POAC for the first time. Of course, we are transplants to Oklahoma, and I haven't shown POAs or been that involved, breeding or anything since I've been in Oklahoma, just the first couple years nationally. So we did join a family membership. We couldn't bring Stella because there was food and stuff. We probably could have left her outside. Dean is watching. I see Bill Coinke from Wisconsin. Flurry's on the way. Yeah, Bill, tonight it was weird here. It was supposed to be 85 degrees here today. I don't know if it made it to that. It sure didn't feel like it because there's wildfires over probably 90 miles to the west of us over by Woodward, Oklahoma. I hope everybody's okay over there. And it just got hazy and eerie here. You couldn't even see the sun very well, and you could smell the smoke. Well, now a cold front's moving in on top of that, and it's so windy. The Texas flag on top of Texas Roadhouse is just taut. It's just stiff like this. It's going straight south. The wind's coming straight out of the north, and it's going to drop down to like in the 50s today. So, Bill, yep, I remember you had Ken Will's Copper Chief. Your family did. I don't know if you remember. It was either you or your brother was a ring steward at the first sale my family ever attended. My dad was a bidder on Sugar Bars Dottie, and you were really getting him. And I think, yeah, you cost my dad a few cracked ribs because my mom kept poking him in the ribs, telling him to stop bidding. But you were a really good ring person. And we did stop. We didn't get her, which was probably okay because we would have made her a broodmare. And Michelle Badker ended up making her a supreme champion in Wisconsin. So Sugar Bars Dottie. Blast from the past there. That was 41 years ago, coming up here at the spring, would have been the spring sale. So let's get back on topic here. Again, thanks everybody for watching. Hello all, Lisa Vaught from Pennsylvania. Hello. So here's a group of kids that was at the Manor on Sunday. Smiling group there. They all, I think, went home with some stuff. And then, of course, you always have the high points. So there's some buckles, and they gave away some halters and some hoodies and all kinds of cool things. So, of course, there's a great tradition with the Sooner POAC, and there's a lot of stables here in Oklahoma that provide a lot of ponies for families. They bring in a lot of families, and they also go to the national show with these families. And when we had a sale, they used to bring home a lot back to Oklahoma. So that's some of the highlights from that. If they're watching, if Kathy or Jan or Ashley or anybody that attended that deal took better notes than me, I just kind of clapped and had fun and ate a bunch of treats, drank some water, and watched the kids go up there and win their awards. I didn't take notes on all the kids' names. I apologize. But again, it was kind of a low-key, fun time. And then the show dads kind of did some games later, and some of the kids got involved doing some games. So, and while I was there, I noticed that one of the awards was this guy right here. And if you guys haven't been paying attention to TikTok, and some people have posted it on Facebook, the lady, I believe, from Georgia, I think she's from Georgia or Alabama, I'm sorry. I did talk to her a couple weeks ago via Facebook, and she kind of blew this up, made this how I knew about it. I still haven't known about it officially through POAC channels, but she did a TikTok video that her daughter was supposed to be on the back cover of this, which would be back there, not on that one, but on the one that this guy comes in. And when they got it, it wasn't there. Well, then they found out it was a brochure, and it's this brochure right here. It's back here. I might pull it out later. So, and it's a really good POA. They've showed at Congress. They show open show circuits. They show Pinto. It's actually a hardship pony. Georgia, Tracy said, yep, I thought it was. And it's a beautiful roan pony, but it was hardship. And the ironic thing about it is in the flyer that comes in it in the back of the package. When you take the horse out and everything, you get to see it. It's a little flyer, and I'll take it out later once I move my little display back here. But then this horse here, it isn't bred to be POA either, because this is from the Ideal series of Breyer. And you see that gentleman there next to that painting of that beautiful POA. And of course, that's the legendary, the late Orrin Mixer, who lived. His studio was not far from where they had the banquet or the award ceremony on Sunday. So he was from Edmond, Oklahoma. Of course, he did lots of beautiful paintings, and he did most of the breeds, including POAs. I think in '96 is when it was done. I think he was researching it for a couple years, and you guys all know that well. Breyer has done several, and I'll show you some of them that they've done for the Ideal series. And I'm hooked to a tether here, so. Did I tell you we have a Breyer cam? It's not sponsored. Maybe somebody that works at Breyer is watching, and they'll see that we got a Breyer cam. So this is the Appaloosa that Orrin Mixer made, and it's a little bigger than our POAs. I guess it's supposed to be. It might be, I don't know if it's in 1:9 scale either, like most of them are. But again, the back, you see back here, it's got a little bio on Mr. Mixer. It's got his signature. It's got the famous Palomino he did, the Pinto painting that he did for Pinto. And then it's got some other stuff down below. That's also the Appaloosa mare that he did, and a herd and some babies. I actually have that print at my house. It's hard to tell in this picture, but she's an Appaloosa with a blanket there. So that is the Ideal Appaloosa. Then the POA, I'm going to move my little display here. The POA came in this box. How's everybody doing tonight? You doing good? And there he is. Oh, I don't have the POA because Ella, the girl that won this box for a award, was gracious enough to give me this because she knew I collect stuff like this, and someday I'll get one of these. But right now I got the back cover. So see our painting there. If you were in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, you seen that live. You actually seen the original that Orrin Mixer did with the brush strokes and in the beautiful frame. It's in the Hall of Fame room, or the boardroom as some people call it, at the home office in Indianapolis. So that's the back of the box. This is the front of the box. So you see, again, that picture there of his painting, just part of it, and that's what they base this ideal Orrin Mixer POA on. So if you collect POA stuff, or you're into POAs like I am, I know you're going to run out and get this. This one was, I believe, what, 44 something? It's also on their website. So we do have the Cross Ponies logo on the back, even though that's not Orrin Mixer's. That was way before he did the POA painting. It is official POA. So I'd like to find out more information about this, and I will eventually. Maybe in July I'll find out some more information. But they are calling it the Ideal Series. Like I showed you the Appaloosa. He's done the Palomino, I think, and the Quarter Horse. Breyer has. And of course, Breyer's been around for a long time, like I say, 1950. So I'll show you here. This is one of their Freedom Series, so that's a little smaller. You know, and this is a black semi-leopard Appaloosa. I don't even know, Tracy, do we say semi-leopard anymore? Or Jess, any of our color, Diana, any of our color experts? I don't think we use the term semi-leopard anymore, but Tracy said, Ella's a gem. She gave me the DZ wheel. I know, I was jealous of that. So she gave you the DZ Weedo, but I think they're giving me something too, because they are great people. Of course, Ella is Ashley's talented daughter, young rider. She rode RM Hollywood Red, and she's ridden a lot of other POAs too. Of course, her grandmother is Kathy McKenzie. Her and Ashley both have stables down there in Edmond. So you see the difference here. This is a little smaller, the Freedom Series, and then there's another Appaloosa there, Chestnut Appaloosa. It says it has the blanket. That's him right there. I feel like a weatherman. I'm really not pointing at the box. I'm pointing at a screen. Then you got a Palomino Morgan, you got the gray saddlebred, just a bunch of different deals, and there's that black semi-leopard that's featured there. So, of course, I'm not going to take these out of the box. I'm going to leave them in the box because I want to collect them. Someday maybe Monica can sell them and make some money after I'm long gone. I doubt if that'll happen, but you never know. They might be worth some money. So, here's the Black Hand one, and again, this came out in 2004. And I remember BJ Spar, I don't know how far she was behind this with Breyer, but she's the one that presented it. She gave the board of directors, all the board of directors got one, I believe. I don't think we had to buy them. I think we got them because we were sitting on the board. And then she also, during the sale in Futurity, they invited Les Boomhauer and his wife. He hadn't been to a sale in decades that I know of. And they presented him with this Breyer. So I'm sure that's a cool deal. Mine that I originally got was in a flood in a garage. I had a garage that leaked, and I still have it. It's in pristine condition as far as the toy, the model, but the box is long gone. So Jan Rogers graciously gifted this to me, so I have this one. I know I have one on the way too with the Murfelds memorabilia, so you know, one might end up in the office. I didn't see one in the office. You think there probably is one. I seen this in the office. I seen this right here, this card. It's in the boardroom, I believe, up on a shelf. So, and this is actually kind of neat because this can pop out and be like a little card all by itself. So, and then they have those horses running over there, which is kind of funny. They have the red horses with 4 white socks, and then they have a bay and a bay baby in the picture. But it's still cool. You know, they're trying to match things up. That wasn't the Ideal Series or anything like that. So I want to show you one I had here earlier. And I know a lot of people, I think Charlie Densmore knows a lot about Breyers. I didn't get into them until lately, but I have had some for a long time. And this guy right here, my mom bought me this at the 1983 International sale. It was our first sale we attended. It was in Des Moines, Iowa, and he was, I believe it was like a white elephant sale or whatever, and it was in the box. Of course, I played with it and stuff. I chipped his ear about 2 years ago. This horse is 41 years old, this statue, because I got it in '83, so now it's, 40, almost 41 years old, and it sits on top of used to sit on top of where my magazines and sales catalogs are, and I pulled out a sales catalog a couple years ago, and it rocked a little bit, and I looked up and it was falling, and I went to catch it, and it hit my hand and went down on the floor, and I chipped his little ear there, you can see. But like I say, that hadn't happened for 30 some years. But he's got a roach mane, and he's got, that kind of weird blanket that's not really white. It's kind of yellowish in person. Somebody told me today, I never seen a blanket like that. I said, well, it's not a real blanket. It's an artist's rendition. But I always believed, and my dad believed, that was a version of that horse right there. Even though it's not the same color, if you look at the head and the neck and the roach mane, almost to a T, the roach mane. Tail's a little different. Of course, the blanket's different. And I have seen this model painted different, too, even darker, more like Barkeeper. Of course, this February 1984 magazine I'm holding up is Barkeeper, who was born in 1973. I talk about him all the time on here because him and his brother Salty Three Bars, back in the 54-inch days, were own grandsons of the legendary Three Bars. So talking about thinking outside of the box and really advancing POAs. Of course, he did go over 54. It was a controversy at the time. They had to send national directors, inspectors from Iowa out to Colorado to inspect him right at the person's place, the person that was leasing him, and that's when they put ID papers on him. But it was all a moot point because a couple years later it went to 56 inches and he was still alive. Of course, he was already 13 by then, so they weren't going to show him or anything like that. I don't think they ever did. They might have. He lived to be a grand old man in his 30s. But let me see your opinion on that. I know the hip's a little different and stuff. Another thing, not to be rude or anything, this horse is not anatomically correct. It's just a statue. And I did notice that the new one, when I was seeing it at the awards thing the other day, it is a stallion. So I was like, oh, wow, this new POA, they did make it a stallion. So I guess they're saying that this painting here was of a stallion, which I always thought it was. So let's do the other cam here. Get Barkeeper over there. And I do have a few more surprises yet for Breyer. So has anybody talked lately? I have the buckskin and the red leopard POA. Okay, well, the buckskin's the one I just showed, I think. And the red leopard, yeah, I don't have that one. And I think I seen one, Tracy, that looked something like the buckskin, but it was darker, unless somebody did that themselves. So, of course, here's the painting I'm talking about. So, and then that model, and I got pictures of it here too. We got stuff all over tonight. We got cams everywhere. So there is that picture I took in person. That was Ella, of course, ripped it out of the box. She just wanted the pony, the toy, and so she took it home to play with or whatever. And, they tried. He looks a little bit like that painting. I don't think his croup's nearly as long, and his muscles not as defined. And then, of course, his mane's different and everything. His head's even a little different. But, man, you're taking two different types of art. We had the art of the POA. It was one of our episodes, one of my favorites. Go back and watch that if you want. And it's a great episode, I think. And anyway, you got an orange mixer painting, and now you have the artist at Breyer trying to copy it. And they definitely did try to mold the neck different. And you can kind of tell that's a pony. I think that's why they shortened up the croup a little bit. So, and I know that was Oren's worry. I met him 2 years after he did this painting, and the big one here, of course, that one. And he was worried about distinguishing it between an Appaloosa and a POA. He didn't even want to take on the job. Of course, it was a paying gig, and he didn't even want to do it if he couldn't distinguish, if people couldn't walk up and go, well, was that an Appaloosa? And especially the one on the left, you can kind of tell that's a POA. And then down below, he definitely made POA. Some of the events we do, and of course the little pony foal there, and then it says POA on the barrel, so I guess that's a good way to do it. So anyway, you guys need to run out and get this. I'm not getting paid by Breyer or anything, but I just think it's neat. So I'm going to add it to my collection, and of course we'll get one. Now, when I was at Indianapolis, I didn't see one in the office, and no one was talking about one. So I think we need to get out there and start talking about it and stuff. Tracy said hers was light buckskin. Just went and looked. Okay, so light buckskin, and this one here is very dark. And again, this might have just been their interpretation of the pictures they saw. Here we go again. Excuse all the wires and stuff. But we got the Breyer model cam coming at you tonight live on the podcast. Spare no expense on the podcast. And then here we have, and nothing will be there, but we got him from the other view. Look at that. Both views. Or then you can see his older brother here, or younger brother, 40 years later. So Breyer did one. So I may have to disconnect to get my next subject here. So just hold on. Let me put something on where you don't see me. Well, you'll see me a little bit. I got one more. I showed you the Appaloosa. This one's pretty big. This is also an Appaloosa, but woo! Look at him. People know who that is. That's an Appaloosa stallion that is also, hi Ella. Ella's watching. Hi, buddy. So, of course, this is chocolatey. And let's find out his facts back here. And we got this box is so big. This is a little different scale on chocolatey. They made a big old statue of him. And it's pretty cool. And theirs is right up, and it talks about what he did, you know, a colored horse showing in those different classes that Appaloosas really weren't shown in that much. Again, he's a dun. I think they got his color maybe a touch off, but it's pretty good. And it does look like that picture. There's a real life picture of him, and they sure got his body. So, of course, Chocolatey is at Lindsay's Arms at Z Animal Crossing. So he's bred a lot of POAs. He's one of our leading sires in our breed. By far the most winningest sire of an Appaloosa ever to be bred to POAs when we're talking Congress wins, by far. So I have a surprise for you. Okay, is that Ella that said that? I think, okay, a surprise? You're going to come up here to the show? Ella, I want to invite you to the show live. You guys only live about less than an hour away, I think. So you and your mom will have to come up here. Your mom's been sitting right over there. I don't think I have a camera up. Let's see. Yeah, it's just dark. But she's been sitting right over there before twice. Our very first episode, and then we did an episode on Silver Wind. Okay, she says, all right, well, we got another podcast in the works, a future one. We're also going to have the Spencer family. You know, Rosalind Spencer Biggs and her family, and then hopefully her dad, David, and maybe her sisters can join us. And that might be a long show. We might have to put a time limit on that and go, okay, 2 hours, let's take a break. Because, you know, after 2 hours, it might go, I bet it could go 5 hours if we got into other people's POAs and all the knowledge Dave has, and of course, Rosalind herself, and then her kids are still shown. So there's the Orange Mixture Appaloosa. I really like this one. I think they hit it out of the park there. It looks the most like the painting of almost anything they've done. So let's give Chocolatey another look there. This box is way bigger, like I say, than most of the Breyers you see. So if anybody wants to give me a Breyer, you know, for me doing no, I'm kidding. But I am starting to collect them. So Monica bought these for me out of the blue last year at the Futurity, and then she bought a bunch that were outside of boxes at the silent auction for the scholarship fund. So I didn't bring those tonight. None of them are Appaloosas. One might be, but I think they're mainly paints and pinnos. And I'm not going to collect unicorns, and I don't even want to collect like the sparkly ones and stuff. I want to get the real horses like Hollywood done it and Secretariat and the real ones like DZ Weedo that Tracy has. I want to find that one. Some of them are getting up there. You know, like Chocolatey will probably go up there eventually because I'm sure they didn't make quite as many of those. Like Blackhand, I found Blackhand one time. I didn't buy it. He wasn't in the box. It said Appaloosa. White Appaloosa, and it was him, and I should have bought it. They only wanted like $10. It was on my trip home from auctioneer school. I was buying Wexford for Monica because she collects that, and we'd only been together not even quite a year when I was returning from St. Louis, gone 10 days. So I wanted to buy her some stuff because I'd been out of state for 10 days. And I walked by and it was a big red barn on, I think, 44 somewhere in between St. Louis and here anyway. And I seen that and I wish I would have grabbed it, but I do have one out of the box now. I didn't know he'd be out of the box at the time. So Stella bought them. Yeah, Stella bought them because, we got Stella at the fraternity too, but she wasn't on the silent auction table. She might be next year if she isn't a good girl. I'm just kidding. I'd like to find the DZ Weeda one that was a mistake. Ooh, there you go. I didn't know that, Tracy. See, that's what I was hoping people would chime in tonight and talk about different ones they have. And that would be cool to find that one. Is that like a rare baseball card or a misprinted minted coin? Yeah, I'd love to have that one too. We might have to get a collection up to try to find that. I bet that one's a lot more than $44.95. So, all right. Well, this was going to be a short show tonight. I just want to encourage anybody. I'm not done yet, so don't go away. But anybody that wants to come on the show, I did get a sponsor for next week, so that's cool. I'll talk about them more during the week. Of course, you get shout out during the week on Facebook, and then you get 2 or 3 mentions during the show and one in the middle with about 5 pictures. I'll just go like this and show Facebook and do that. I do want to do a few more things here. I want to go back to... Let's go here and show chocolatey again while I go up here. And also, other clubs. Tonight we talked about the Sooner Club. We're going to talk about Schuylkill Valley. I'm sure I said that wrong, Monica, but that's the new Pennsylvania club. It's not new, it's reinstated. They were a pretty big club back in the 70s and 80s, even the 90s, and then it just kind of whittled down like a lot of these clubs have over the years, just tough times and different things going on. But we need to try to get these clubs back, and I know we got that one going now, and then Idaho's going, so I'm going to have an episode about the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to be a guest on that one, if you want to sponsor, a $20 sponsor is just a mention of your horse. Say happy birthday to some kid or horse, if there's an older horse, like a Copper Sundance who's almost 40 now, or somebody like that. And, or to a grandpa or a trainer, whatever you want to do. And just say but then the other one, the $50 sponsor, that one's a little bit more involved. You've seen people on here. I've had quite a few of those over the years that have done a sponsor like that. And Monica's actually working on some more cool packages for sponsorships. So, and she's also, if you haven't checked out, all these episodes now are on YouTube. There's only a couple that didn't take on YouTube because of royalties. The one about the people who we'd lost, the horses and the people. In my dad's portion of that, I played a song from my friend. Well, they don't realize I had permission for that song, so YouTube flagged that. So that video is not on YouTube. But, of course, it's on Facebook here. So add the $60 sponsorship. Yeah, contact me. Monica and I, she's added a $60 sponsorship, so that's even cooler. So you'd get more exclusive rights than like 2 $50 ones being on at the same time. So she's got more information on that. She's been working on that. She worked hard to get all 73 of them that's on there on YouTube. So thanks, Monica, for that. So this one will be on probably in a couple days or early next week. So, maybe she'll even get it on there tonight. Hint, hint. No, that's fine, Monica. Couple days. So she's been busy with sponsorships. We need more sponsorships. We got about, I think, over half now sponsored. So that's great. Of course, you have until May 20th. You can commit now, and you have until May 20th to pay. So there's a lot of game classes left. A lot of the halter classes are going pretty fast. We have some specialty ones. Okay, so the Schuylkill Valley POAC is planning our first meeting March 16th. Is that? I don't have my glasses. I think 16th or 18th. Good. That's cool. Let's do this. Yay! And I don't know who wrote that, but you could come on there if it's Terry or Bev or whoever wrote that. But thank you for posting that. So we are going to have, I just want to say, doing these podcasts, I contacted somebody through Facebook Messenger because I was going to have some High Point stuff on again this week. Like, because I've had Levi on the year he won, and then last year Brooklyn won from Wisconsin, brother and sister. So this year I was going to try to have Campbell on. Well, I don't know that family from Indiana, so I contacted somebody connected to them, and maybe it didn't go through or they just didn't see it. I never got a message back. So then I shifted gears and was going to do about something else. And I contacted 2 or 3 people connected to that. None of them could be on here. So then I went all the way to the Sooner and the Breyers here. And hey, it worked out. So we talked about that. Here's the Breyers page, actually. And if you see, when you pull up the website for Breyer models, a horse of my very own, look at these 3 here. And there's the new POA. He's right on the front cover, and it's one of the traditional ones. So that's pretty cool advertising for POA. And they say it's a POA too. They don't say a little small appy or a little roan appy. They say it's a POA. And then if you go down here, this again's on their first page of their website that I just pulled up today. The Ideal Series Pony of the Americas, $44.99, straight from their website. Click on that, and there you get the picture, and you can zoom in really close and see all the detail. They got it displayed out there with some rocks and stuff. And then when you go down here, this I thought was a cool picture because it almost looks like a whole different model from that angle. You see the head and the scopiness of the head, the dish face, and the popping eye and stuff. Pretty cool for a model. And then, of course, there they have our painting. So I'm thinking that maybe they contacted a past executive secretary or director or CEO or somebody past in POAs, or maybe the executive committee, because I never heard about this. If it wasn't for Genevieve Tuffy, who's a pseudonym on Facebook, she's Doc Nemmer's granddaughter. She shared the family, the woman that did the 2 videos on TikTok, and it blew up on TikTok because she bought some and she was disappointed that her daughter's picture wasn't on there, and then they discovered it was actually in an insert. You had to open the box. Well, then the first one they opened, I believe, the insert wasn't in there, and sometimes they forget, just like anything. Sometimes it's not in there. Well, some of them didn't have it, but most of them do. And this one that Ella got this weekend, of course, it did have the flyer in there. So again, there's Orange Mixer, and it's cool they have all this stuff right on their page. So this is their web page, Breyer models, 5th in the series, and then it talks about Orange Mixer, born in 1920 in Oklahoma. Then it talks about POAs, formed in 1954. Gives a shout out to Les Boomhauer, talks about how our height, and then the Arabian Welsh, Native American pony, and quarter horse bloodlines also combined to giving the POA its trademark look of a refined little horse. So I'm fine with that description there. And then they go on to talk about, some stuff. And again, a 1/9 scale, ages 8 and up. And this is from the traditional size. And it's also, like I say, the ideal. So they've already done 5. I only have 2. The 2 I'd want the most, of course, would be the POA and the Appaloosa. I would like them all the ones that are from the Orange Mixer collection, which they call the Ideal collection. But it'll be fun to collect those all. So, all right. It's Ella, I love you. Oh, that made my night. So it's been a wild couple days. So sold almost 3 cars yesterday at the plaza. So the one dude didn't have a driver's license, or I would have got what we call a hat trick. In hockey, they throw hats at you. When you do it one day at a dealership, they throw a lot of bonus money at you. And I was 5 minutes away from having a hat trick, but they just couldn't pull off. They didn't even have a learner's permit. So tough to sell a car. Bank don't really want you driving off in a car if you don't have an ID. So you don't have room to collect them all. Well, Monica, we got the 2 houses now, and we have a storage locker. So as I mention all the time, we do have a storage locker with a whole bunch of POA memorabilia in it. So, and we're getting more all the time for the future museum. All right, everybody, it was kind of a quick show tonight. I'm sorry that it was maybe not deep topics, but it was still very important topics, promoting POA through Breyer. We could find some families that way. Well, probably a little girl, let's be honest, but somebody buys a little Breyer and they start researching it and finds out who it is, and then all of a sudden they get a big Breyer, right? They get a real POA. So, and then we get another family, and that's how promotion and growth happens. I always say, I know people get sick of me saying, but growth. We got to keep growing and working hard, because people do leave all the time just to pursue other things. That's not just us, that's everything. You know, soccer moms, the kids grow up, and whatever, bowling leagues, people move away. So you always got to get new people to come into your community for what you're supporting. So I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. It was only a 35-minute show. I'll announce later in the week what we're going to have for next week. I'm going to try to do a show every week. I do have 6 weekends booked for judging. I want to thank all the POA clubs that have hired me. I don't have any cards yet besides POA. I'm fixing to get some more, and I'll announce that when I do. So, but thank you for all the clubs that supported that endeavor. I'm going to post some pictures of me back when I had big hair, and one of the guys that I picked to go on the judging team when he was a freshman and I was a sophomore in high school, and I created the team in high school. He had a mullet, so I didn't even realize it until I looked at the pictures in my scrapbook last night. So, but I look good. I got my FFA shirt or jacket on, you know, the blue jackets with the gold seal there, and I just wish I would have had a little different haircut. So, Jan says, thanks again, Kent. Fun show. All right. Monica says, geez, hopefully she's chasing Stella around. I think she meant all the things. I'm not going to collect thousands of these statues, honey. I don't have room. I never got into painted horses. Look that up, Monica. Them are expensive, painted horses. So I have a friend in Minnesota that had a bunch of those in his office in his horse barn. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned on Facebook for updates, and I'll be updating this week. So enjoy the song. See you next Tuesday.